Hello again, football fans. Welcome to week 11 of the football season. A lot of stuff to clear up tonight, a lot of conference games with a lot of meetings, some conferences up for grabs tonight. One of them we're going to get started with right away. Let's jump right into it. Wallace Rose Hill at home, 9-0 coming into tonight, looking to win the Tri-County outright with a win tonight paired with a Pender loss. Two outcomes needed to happen, and Wallace Rose Hill came out looking like a team that was ready to clinch right out the gate, opening drive of the game. You know, they went running back by committee all night, so Jonathan Drakeford got the first one. He hit the far corner from 21 yards, outran the pursuit, they were up. The swinging gate, it only works when it works. It works here. Omar Carr gets it. Bonus 2, Wallace up 8-0, less than 2 minutes in. Carr got it going for himself from the big part of the field. He ripped off a run early in the drive, and then he finished it from 3 yards out. Wallace went up 23-6 in the first quarter, 30-6 at halftime. They were rolling like a team that wanted this one. Union, they battled in the second half, but the Dogs were able to roll to a 44-26 win, which wasn't even really as close as the 18-point margin would indicate. Omar Carr led everybody with 181 yards, but they had 5 backs tonight go for 388 yards. Dwan McKenzie was not throwing a lot, but he was efficient. 5 of 6 for 2 touchdowns. Pender falls, Wallace rolls. And Wallace Rose Hill is your Tri-County champions.
Well, that's not a surprise that Wallace, rolls. They just
Right.
get it done, and it doesn't matter who does it. They just go out and take it to you from the opening snap. And
Right.
and Union was on the other side of that. Good effort from them,
Right.
but Wallace just unstoppable.
A lot of energy there tonight.
Yeah.
I was there, lots of energy,
Oh,
wall
sure.
to wall.
Absolutely. That means we're heading over for second place battle in the Waccamaw Conference. That's East Bladen at South Brunswick. We said earlier this week that this was a lot of athletes, and sure enough, we were right. It was back and forth half. Marcus Hankins, he had 300 and some yards last week. He got the first score tonight for South Brunswick. Gets that one in the end zone. Then Nawan Watts decided to take over, finds Cam Scott for the touchdown. 35-yard touchdown there. Cougars a little bit more. Here's Terrell Stanley on the other end of a pass from Watts. This is from 4 yards out. East Bladen actually made this game 25-21 early in the third quarter, and then it was the Marcus Hankins show. Touchdown, East Bladen fumbles the kickoff. Hankins touchdown, East Bladen fumbles the next kickoff. Hankins touchdown. And at that point, it was over. Final score 53-21. South Brunswick, they are for real, and they are going to make some serious work in the 3A playoffs, I think.
Absolutely. And, just like we said, the Stars were going to show up. They showed up for East Bladen, too. A.J. McCoy had a pretty good game. Saquon Johnson had a pretty good game. But the Stars for South Brunswick were just too much. Hankins, 4 touchdowns in that one.
Yeah, I think it really, again, South Brunswick's offensive balance was put on display in this game. They don't have to run it, and they don't have to throw it. They can do both, and whatever you give them, that's what they're going to take.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, from the Waccamaw to the Mid-Eastern, where, similar to the Wallace situation, a New Bern win coupled with a New Hanover loss. And New Bern is your conference champions. Let's go to Laney, where that game was taking place against New Bern. And this really was a defensive battle between two offensive teams. Two of the top offenses really in the state when it comes to passing, and both defenses were able to put the pass rush on all night long. So much so that the running games were affected. You look at New Bern's running back, Karan Simmons, was held to just 4 yards on 8 carries. That led Josh Taylor, the quarterback for the Bears, to be their leading rusher for the night. Laney's running back on the same side, Keywan Keys, not a whole lot better, 32 yards on 19 attempts. Both offenses really couldn't get much going through 3.5 quarters.
This was, and that's the biggest surprise I think that comes out of this game, is that Laney's defense, which had some trouble against high-flying offenses, they did not break very much at all tonight, but the problem was the New Bern defense was just as good, unfortunately.
Absolutely, especially against the pass. Tevin Clay, Ernest Andrews combined for just 10 receptions. Neither one went over 100 yards. Mike Sheehan did get some yards late. He went for 261, but big play of the game, Tyrell Lindsay. He had 6 catches for 95 yards. Just a minute before halftime, he takes a screen pass, rolls out on the sideline, 61 yards. They go into the break with a 7-point lead. The teams trade scores in the final 2 minutes. The difference was that second score. New Hanover lost tonight.
Yes, lost tonight at Rose.
New Bern able to pull out this victory. They are your Mid-East champions.
And again, that was the team we all, as the season was going on, we thought that was the team that was going to win. Laney put up a great battle tonight.
Right.
I really think that they didn't have any letdown from last week's frustrating loss. This is a tough loss for them, but this is one I think that they'll look back and say, hey, look, our defense finally finally made some big plays. We can build on that. So because that offense is going to get humming again pretty quick.
Right, absolutely. We'll get into the scores and we'll talk a little bit more about that New Hanover game. But Dan, tell us, let's go down the scoreboard.
Okay, so we'll start off in the Mid-Eastern. Hoggard 30, Ashley 7. The Vikings win back-to-back games. Like we said, New Hanover took a loss in Greenville at Rose, 37-16. Hanover had a lot of bad things happen in this game. Quarterback Bates Taylor was injured. He was one of 4 Wildcat starters that had to leave the field. Fumble return for a touchdown, pick 6 for a touchdown, block punt for a touchdown. It was just not their night up there.
An insult to injury, they had a safety late in the game.
Yeah, that's, like I said, just one of those. Kevin Motzinger was like, we just need to get on the bus and go home. So jump over the Waccamaw, like we said, South Brunswick 53-21, South Columbus 51-21. This game was a thriller, and then South Columbus got a safety. They blitzed on a play inside the 1, got a safety, and then they rolled from there, 51-21.
And that clinches at least a share of the Waccamaw title for them. They're undefeated, and like we said every week, they should be ranked. I would be surprised if they're not ranked come Wednesday.
I can't understand how they're not already, but whatever. West Bladen 47, or I'm sorry, West Brunswick 47, West Bladen 21. Jump over to the East Central now. East Duplin 27, Richlands 22. Panthers get a late touchdown on that one, and then pick off Richlands with about 3 minutes left to seal the win there. That puts them at least a tie for first in that league, and they'll get the top playoff spot. Northside jumps out to a big lead early, holds off Topsail late 28-14. James Keenan 48, Hobton 20. That sets up a nice showdown next week. James Keenan versus Wallace Rose Hill.
It's always going to be a fun one. Wallace Rose Hill's already clinched. What are they going to play for? I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they go for that undefeated season.
That's their big rival. It's going to be a full house up in North Duplin County next week. Also, like we said earlier, Pender upset by Lakewood, 34-31. Quarterback Shaq Cooper did not play until the 3rd quarter of this game. Pender was down early, tried to come back. Lakewood scored the last touchdown there. Trask busts a 5-game losing streak, 34-18 over Midway. And like we said earlier, Wallace clinches the conference title, 44-26. And finally, in the Three Rivers, Fairmont 14, East Columbus 6, another tough loss for the Gators.
It really is. They're really trying to find themselves right now. But I want to look at Trask. They got that all-important 4th win in that game against Midway. Those were 2 teams that were stuck on 3. That's an important one there.
Big win for them just to get some confidence back, especially after a really bad game last week against Wallace.
Absolutely. They might get healthy as we move forward.
I think so. They get Pender next week, and they always play them well.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for us tonight on Friday night. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out starnewsvarsity.com. That's where you are right now anyway. So keep looking through it, get your stats, get your standings. We're going to update it throughout the week. Come back Wednesday for the preview show. Check it out, guys.